Thank you. Let's open it up for some questions at this point. Paul?
Talk about the pipeline. Don't we have 2 pebbles in the pipeline? First one we know is the banks and servicers not letting the foreclosures out. What about the approval and permit process on the 1 to 4 families and mixed use, fix them up and flip them and rent them?
Well, interestingly, actually, is we've had 2 out of the 20 deals that we did where actually we had permitting problems that delayed it, which should have never happened. For the most part, we have not had a problem because people are going in and basically cutting the lawn, changing the doors, painting the inside. I mean, that's the beauty of this particular product. It just needs a very fast 60-day facelift. But look at permitting, and my architect friends are in the room. I'm building a 50,000-foot building in Bayonne right now. That's theoretically as of right. I'm building it for Bayonne Hospital. And I think we're 9 months and we still can't get a planning board hearing. So, you know, permitting in New Jersey, they really need to streamline. Because in New York City, I can buy a lot, build a 25-story building. I never have to appear before a planning board ever. To build a 2-family house, you're right, it's absolutely right, Paul, to build a 2-family house, you got all kinds of people breaking your chops, for lack of a better word. And by the way, that's a good thing for the chamber to be working on here, because the permitting process is archaic.
Yes. Yes.
You mentioned some of the inner cities and the beat-up stuff and the 1 to 4 family. You mentioned a clog in the funnel. How is that clog going to unravel over time, or is there going to be a catalyst?
Well, like, for instance, Bank of America just announced that they're going from 7,000 up to 45,000 foreclosures a month. Now, just think that that's just Bank of America, right? They've been holding back. I mean, basically, the one thing I can tell you, all this data you read, and this is why anybody, you know, look, well, if I was talking to you this time last year, I was ready to slit my throat, okay? The good news is I'm optimistic right now. Now, my friends say I'm confident in my paranoia, and I am paranoid as hell, and I'm scared because, look, it's easier to just quit right now if you got enough dough, frankly. Because it's also easier to start in the market after the market goes up 15%, because then you know you got 6, 7, 8 years. But you know what? We actually have a responsibility, being the seasoned people in the industry that are here, to actually help and guide. Look, when I started in this business, guys pulled me by the hand and taught me everything and showed me what was right and wrong and what to do and what not to do. Now, the good news is one thing I see, and I'm going to answer this pointedly, but I want to say one thing, because this room full of people is different than the room full of people I'm used to speaking at when I'm in New York, where typically they're former bond traders who've never swung a hammer in their life, never sat in front of a planning board meeting, never were on a truck, never hold a paintbrush, never walked a homeowner or a tenant through a space. The folks in this room should be the developers. You know, you need a license to do almost anything. You can build a high-rise, no license. So all you need is somebody to give you money. Now, the truth of the matter is, having listened to the people that are in this room, these are the real folk. I mean, if you can't come in on budget and on schedule with good quality, nothing means nothing. Now, so to go back to answer the question, what's going to happen, and this is the best way I can explain it, you got a funnel this big, okay? Right now, you got a rock at the bottom of the funnel. However, the funnel has got a top to it. So if the funnel gets filled, either they got to pull the pebble out of the bottom, or it's going to overflow over the top. But either way, when you hear data coming out of, you know, the housing numbers, okay, if you're breathing, they're calling you performing now. So the flood's coming, and I personally think, by the way, it's like the greatest opportunity in the world, because not a lot. Look, when I started, the first thing I started looking at was 3-family homes or 2-family homes in Park Slope back in 1981. You could buy them for 10 grand. You know, it's the greatest opportunity around, and it's going to come. And by the way, like anything else, you got to retool yourself, because just because you're not able to build a high-rise, don't mean you can rehab a two-family house. But I think it's a great business. I think it's a great way to hit singles, and then you'll evolve into, because after these houses get absorbed, then's going to come the 10, 20, 40 unit deals and the retail stuff. But oh, by the way, remember, we have $1 trillion of CMBS coming due next year. It's going to take 2 years before that stuff hits the market. So there's lots of opportunities, but it ain't new construction, I'm sorry to say.
Bill, just to follow up before, when you were talking about the bridge loans, do you arrange the permanent takeouts with that, or is that another risk factor in terms
Well, number one, most of my stuff gets referred to me by banks and by lawyers for borrowers who are in a pickle. The bank wants to service the customer, so typically when a bank refers us a deal, after we season the loan, we give it back to the bank.
Okay.